How are you? It's good to see you again.
Yeah,
What?
nice
It's
to see you too.
15 years, I guess.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, those dark days in that studio at Sea Fun.
Yeah, it was. Hey, we had a lot of fun. We did have a lot of fun. And we did produce a good show.
I think one of the fun things is you pretty much got to do whatever you wanted, right? So whatever topic you wanted to talk about, you had it on, and we talked football, we talked hockey, we talked safe injection sites. Like it was a very wide ranging topics on that.
It was all over the place.
Yeah. So
it was a good show. No, it was a good show.
Yeah. And then I ended up abandoning you like I had to get out of there. And then how long did you run the show after I left? Just maybe
I don't know.
Couple months.
I don't know. Maybe, a couple of months, I suppose. You're asking me things like that happened 15 years ago. I don't even remember what happened yesterday.
Well, I was about to ask you for a bit of a resume if you remember anything from back in the day.
What resume you want to? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why should people care about what you think of today, Dave?
This was not on your crib notes that you sent me earlier. All right. This is not included in the questions that you sent me.
Yeah, I like it to be raw.
Oh, okay. What was the question again?
Give me a bit of a resume. Why? What gives you credibility there, Dave Brindle?
Oh, okay. Okay. I started my career in broadcasting as a sportscaster.
Mm-hmm.
Never participated in a sport in my entire life. I was a drama kid, right? So what is the first job I get out of high school? A sportscaster, the high school sportscaster for CBC Radio and Television in Regina, Saskatchewan. So I was doing play-by-play of the Regina Pats in the Western Hockey League at the time. That was one of my jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got a call, an invitation to join ITV in Edmonton, which later became Global.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, ITV had the contract for the Oilers when they were still in the WHA.
Mm.
So I went up to do the Oilers. And was with, who was the guy that I was working with? Tim Dancy.
Mm-hmm.
So we did the Oilers while they were in the WHA. And before Gretzky was in the NHL, he was playing for the Oilers in the WHA at 19, and he couldn't play in the NHL until he was 20.
Mm.
So is that cred?
Yeah, that's definitely.
Okay. Oh, and also, I've been watching hockey since, I was 10. Yeah. And now I'm old.
It happens to all of us.
You just wait, Russell. You just wait.
Well, the first question I actually sent over to you, which I think everyone probably knows the answer to now, is, Dave, who's your favorite hockey team?
Well, I would like to preface my answer by responding to this Diener HD, who hates the Oilers, which is fine. Lots of people hate the Oilers. It's like I hate the Boston Red Sox. Diener HD should well know that it's not the Oilers' fault that the Canucks suck. So do not blame it on the Oilers. They do not deserve your hate.
They deserve our hate for different reasons.
Yes, absolutely.
The only reason the Canucks are a terrible team is self-inflicted wounds. We can all...
Absolutely. Yeah. It always has been. Maybe if you got new ownership, got rid of the Aquilinis, who have single-handedly destroyed that team since the moment they bought it, then maybe the Canucks might have a chance. But as much as Diener HD hates the Oilers, I hate the Canucks.
Yeah. First interview, and he's calling out Diener HD. Kids are going to love that.
Get him on here with me.
We'll have to have a debate. So in your years of watching hockey, then, have you developed an affinity for a certain player? Like, is there a favorite player over the years that you absolutely love?
Oh, boy. It'd be easy to say Gretzky. It would be really easy to say that. But as we've seen in recent months, he's turned into a dick. So he may have the skills and all the records, but he's a dick. Yeah. So he's not my favorite hockey player anymore. If you want me to answer that currently, who my favorite hockey player is currently, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Always has been, well, in the last 10 years, he's been my favorite player. He's the consummate hockey player. He's always out there giving 100%. He plays defense and offense equally well. He's a leader on the team, and I think he's one of the finest hockey players I've seen play the game. Fully play the game with all of his heart and soul and all of his talent and technical abilities. I think he's great. And of course, McDavid, sure. But
well, I hear the best Connor in your team now is Connor Brown. So
Connor Brown is, he's doing really well. I think he's got almost one or the same number of points as McDavid has in second place under Rattanen. Yeah, Rattanen's in first. Yeah. No, Brown is really coming into his own. He had a lousy postseason last year, so he's healthy. Well, as healthy as you can be at this time of the year. He's showing good stuff, and Bouchard is also starting to peak, which is really it's a relief because we lost Ekholm.
Well, I mean, when he's starting to flirt with records like Paul Coffey and stuff, then you're probably pretty happy with his performance.
Well, Coffey is on the bench.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
That is great.
So this might be another hard question for you then. If you had to pick
there are no hard questions, right?
You've answered a lot harder questions than ones about your favorite hockey team.
I think, yeah.
If you had to pick like a favorite hockey moment as a fan, what would that be?
Well, I could say it was the 72 series. I was a teenager at the time, and as a class, the teachers brought in the television set. We watched the games in physics, and the teacher's name was Ricky Right Angle. Well, at least that's what we called him. Slide rules. Does anybody remember that? Anyway, there's that. That was a great moment. Also, the Golden goal by Sid in 2010 at the Olympics. And that is one of my favorite moments, too, was Crosby's rookie season. And I was at Rogers Center. As soon as that kid stepped on the ice, it was electrifying. Everyone's eyes were just riveted on him. Nothing else mattered. And that was that game. And to see him in his rookie season was thrilling. So, just those. I think those are probably highlights. There's more, and I'm forgetting some, but those are definitely a few of them, 3 of them.
Well, I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this question either, but as the play-by-play guy for the Oilers back in the day, do you have any good stories about interactions with the team or the players, or some kind of a funny moment that you had while calling the games for the Oilers?
Well, not calling the games, but going out and having a beer with Gretzky.
Right.
That was there was one instance that was, it was pretty funny. They used to have a piano bar in the basement of the old Edmonton telephone building in Edmonton. And we got together for a beer in the afternoon. And this fellow that I knew, who was annoying, came over and introduced, and as everyone did with Wayne at the time, freaked out and ended up sitting with us. And it wasn't one of, I mean, it was more embarrassing than funny. But yeah, that's the only thing that comes off the top of my head. Semenko was huge. Absolutely. He was a monster. But that's not funny.
No, that's just scary.
Yeah, that is just scary. That's such a good question.
Yeah.
And I don't have an answer for it, so move on.
Yeah. Well, you can ponder on that because we'll have you on again another time. So we'll have to get some more stories out of you as they slowly creak out of your brain, right?
Next time you have to pay me.
Yeah, fair. All right. So this is one of my favorite questions to ask, especially if I'm a fan of a different team. If you were to have to pick a Vancouver Canucks player, could be current, could be historic, to change allegiances and play for the Oilers for his whole career, who's that player?
None of them.
Oh!
None of them deserve to be on the Oilers. No, in all seriousness, of course we want Hughes. I mean, of course we want Quinn. Not Demko, because he got hurt this year, and I start getting suspect when players, particularly goalies, get hurt and have to stay out so long. So I don't want Demko. I do not want Pettersson. I don't think anybody does right now, not even the Canucks. So it would have to be Hughes. If we got Hughes, and we never will, we would have the best defense in NHL history.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie.
No, they don't. So yeah, that would be the hockey player that I would want is Quinn Hughes. But as I said, we aren't going to get him. He's going to just suffer in the basement of the NHL and not win a Stanley Cup, which he deserves to, just because he's with an organization that sucks.
Well, if we're lucky enough to keep him for more than 2 years left on his contract before he goes and plays with his brothers in New Jersey, who knows what's going to happen in this Canucks world. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. That's right.
So we were chatting a little bit earlier before we started recording, and the take I liked from you, we were chatting about the Oilers team last year versus the Oilers team this year. And kind of your comment was yesteryear was the year for the Edmonton Oilers to win the cup.
Yeah.
Are you still kind of feeling that way, or like what is the?
Yeah. I mean, they've only gotten into the second round. In fact, they may not even have gotten into the second round last season, but once they were there, it was so disappointing last season going down to that seventh game. It was just, it broke my heart, but they didn't play well enough. They didn't win. They just didn't play well enough. Superstars didn't come through. Draisaitl had terrible playoffs because he was hurt. Mm-hmm. And if this season, after the series with LA, and now that they've beaten Las Vegas once, I'm more optimistic than I was last season, except we got terrible goaltending. It's so unpredictable. But Pickard is the top goalie in the playoffs right now, which is astonishing. But goaltending worries me.
You still don't want Demko.
No. But remember Campbell, the soup, comes to Edmonton and is supposed to be our savior? Mm-hmm. Do you know what got to where he is? Can we answer the question? Whatever happened? Yeah. He was supposed to be our guy. Right?
Yeah.
So
Skinner was supposed to be your guy too.
That's true. Now Pickard is our guy. Yeah. Ralph, they'll be suiting you up soon.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys have had a good run so far. Beating LA for the fourth time in 4 years has got to feel pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, when it comes right down to it, it's hockey, right? It's a game. And as I mentioned, I think I mentioned last season to a few people after they lost that I just went out on my balcony and laughed. I didn't get upset or cry or get moany. I just went out on my balcony and laughed. And maybe it was the gummy that was just kicking in. No, I didn't take it all that seriously and I hate this cliche. It's just a game.
It's true. Yeah, you handled it a lot better because in 2011, I had a massive playoff beard that I was shaving off while crying and super drunk. So you definitely handled it with more grace than I did.
Yeah, it's a game. It's not like picking a pope.
There's no white smoke unless it's in Vancouver because then the cars are on fire.
Do you know back in the old days, the dressing rooms were thick with smoke. Thick with smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cigarette and scotch in the locker room.
Absolutely. You bet. A lot of playing cards. Played a lot of cards too. Yeah.
So even though you think last year was the chance, how are you thinking that the Edmonton Oilers might have what it takes to get through this year? Or are you thinking they're going to run into a team like Dallas and end up getting bounced?
I think they've got a good chance against Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're going to take this series, but I don't know after that. And I think this series probably is going to go 6. But we'll see. I don't know. I haven't been putting any bets on it, Russ. No, we'll see what happens after this series. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, we're going to go all the way and win the cup. We'll see.
Well, that's because I always say it every year. The Canucks are going to win the cup next year.
Yeah. Well, are you saying it now?
Yeah, every year.
Okay. All right. Good.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Dave, for joining the show. I'm sure everyone's enjoyed it. And like I said, enjoy the games. And I'm sure we'll chat again soon.
And hey, Russ, couple old radio guys, we're right on time.
Yeah. Cheers, Dave. Have a great night.
All right. Cheers.
Nothing is perfect.